Hello and welcome back to the unit tutorial for History Year 6, Unit 2, Conflict and Resolution, and this is video part 2. This video will walk you through the following areas: how to adapt activities and lessons, how to plan for the inquiry question, and key moments within the unit to look out for. Adapting activities can be easily done by using the ebook workbook and the snipping tool to paste the activity onto a Word or Publisher document and edit it. From there, you can print it and stick the adapted activity into your exercise book or directly over the workbook original activity. You may be familiar with the snip tool, but it can be found by searching in the search bar or simultaneously pressing Windows, Shift and S. Drag your mouse to highlight the area you want to copy, and that selection of your screen can be copied onto your clipboard and then onto your Word or Publisher document. Before we begin looking at adaptations, please note the adjustment that will need to be made in Lesson 1. There is an error in this lesson with the map key. Triple entente should be green on the key, and triple alliance should be the yellowy, browny, green colour on the key. The triple entente refers to Great Britain, France and Russia, and the triple alliance refers to Germany, Italy and Austria-Hungary. The answer slide for this related activity is correct. So to fix this map, ask pupils to cross out the keywords and replace them like so. This error will be fixed in future workbooks and resources. I'm now going to run through some of the activities in the workbook from lessons 1 to 10. We don't have time for all the activities, but I will give suggestions on how you may adapt them, and these ideas can be transferred onto any other activities in the workbooks or slides. You don't have to use my examples or even adapt a tool, but these are suggestions for ways in which you could. To support pupils in Lesson 1, you could add the first and or last number to the table. You could give a sentence starter. Using the answer slide, you could create labels for pupils to read and stick in. And to challenge pupils, you could ask them to write a short summary of why World War I was called a world war. To support pupils for these activities in Lesson 2, you could add the adversities for pupils to add how Tull overcame them. You could highlight key information in the text. And using the soldier your class is researching, as local as possible, you could create labels for pupils to read and stick in. As a challenge activity, ask pupils to write a short summary on why Britain needed support during the war and who they got it from. Support pupils in Lesson 3 by highlighting the key information in the text, by adding boxes and arrows to where the label should go, by populating a label as a model, by giving the descriptions as cut-out labels that pupils could sort and stick in next to the correct keyword. Challenge pupils by asking them to write a short summary of what trench warfare was. To support pupils in Lesson 4, you can highlight the key information in the text again, and you can create labels with the information for pupils to stick in. You could also fill in the danger section for pupils to add the effects only. Challenge pupils by asking them to write a short summary of what part women played in World War I. Support pupils in Lesson 5. You could add one positive and one negative to the table as a model. You could highlight the key information in the text, and you can give pupils a sentence starter. Challenge pupils by asking them to write a short summary on what Armistice Day is and why it is celebrated. In Lesson 6, pupils have a full page of reading. Support pupils by highlighting the key information in the text or by printing off the corresponding slides with enlarged text to use as handouts. For pupils with dyslexia, you could avoid printing dark text on white background and try a dark blue text on an off-white pale yellow background instead. Challenge pupils to write a short summary of who Hitler was and how he gained absolute power in Germany. support pupils in Lesson 7, you could print the text and enlarge the sections, or highlight the key information. For the activity, you can highlight the information on each plane in its own colour to support the activity, like so. Challenge pupils by asking them to write a short summary of why planes were so important in World War II. In Lesson 8, support pupils by highlighting the key information in the text, by having the atlas page ready or copied with the key information highlighted. Add dots to the map to show which other major cities were impacted. And you could add a keyword list of pupils to add to the map. Challenge pupils by asking them to write a short summary on what the Blitz was and its impact on Britain. To support pupils in Lesson 9, highlight the key information in the text and add an example in the table as a model. You could also add the actions to the left for pupils to populate the right-hand column only. Or you could create labels for pupils to read and add to the correct section of the table. Challenge pupils by asking them to write a short summary of what the welfare state is. And to support pupils with a final lesson, Lesson 10, you can highlight the key information in the text, and you can work as a class or in small groups to debate and rank the most important of the aims before writing them down. Challenge pupils by asking them to write another short summary of what the UN is and why it was formed. Once pupils have finished the activities in Lesson 10, they'll need to answer the inquiry question for this unit. How and why did Britain fight in 2 world wars, and how do they change British society? To support teachers with implementing the inquiry question, we've created an inquiry question support document. Here you can find the information you will need and an additional activity for pupils to complete. This could support them as a planning activity, be a recap of the entire unit knowledge to refresh memories before the assessment, or be edited into the assessment itself. The inquiry question support document for this unit can be found with the other resources on Oxford OUT. Pupils can answer the inquiry question in a variety of ways. They could answer it as an extended write, a poster, a presentation, a question paper, a multiple choice quiz, or whatever best suits your class. For every unit, there are elements that will need to be planned in advance for the class teacher. You will need to plan an engaging hook. You could show photographs, read a story, show a video, or something more creative. You may need to print off any additional resources per lesson. Not every lesson will have an additional resource, so make sure you check before you teach. You will also need to read the unit planning guide to ensure that you have resources prepared for any upcoming activities. Hopefully, you now feel confident about accessing and teaching this unit. Any questions, please send to primarymastery@curriculumplus.org.uk, and we welcome all feedback to ensure that these resources are as supportive as possible for you and your pupils.